This is the iPad Pro. It's the most capable and powerful iPad we've ever created. It is chock full of amazing advanced technologies and innovation. To tell you all about it, I'd like to invite Phil Schiller up. Phil?
Thank you, Tim. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited to tell you about this incredible new iPad Pro. It has a huge screen, the biggest we've ever built in an iOS device. It has more power and performance than any iOS device we've ever made either. But let's start with that display. Why make an iPad with a bigger display? With a larger display, well, think about the iPad from the very beginning. It's a magical piece of glass you hold in your hands, and you can touch the software. You can touch the web pages we surf. We can touch the books we read. We can touch the documents we create. And it can do things that a smartphone can't do because it doesn't have to fit in your pocket. And it's thin and light enough to hold all day long so that it can do things that a notebook can't do. So with a bigger screen iPad, your TV shows and movies are more cinematic. The games we play are more immersive and powerful. And an iPad is always a multi-touch device. So now with the bigger iPad Pro, you can have a full-size software keyboard. So you can type in your documents with this great big keyboard. And keyboards can do many things, like be an amazing musical instrument. Yeah, somebody likes music. We can do something on an iPad that you can't do on a notebook. And the new multitasking features in iOS 9, slide over, split view, picture-in-picture, were designed with this iPad Pro in mind. They make it so much more productive and capable. So how big is the screen on the iPad Pro? It's 12.9 inches on that diagonal. Why 12.9 inches? Well, here, let me tell you a little secret about its size. Let's put next to it our previous largest iPad. That's iPad Air 2. If you look at the width of the iPad Pro, it is the same as the height of the iPad Air. And then we take that height and we make a 4:3 ratio. And now you have an iPad big enough to run your full iPad Air apps with more room side by side. It is an incredible display. It is 2732 by 2048 pixels. Do the math, it's 5.6 million pixels. Far more than on any iOS device before. In fact, that's even more pixels than a 15-inch MacBook Pro with Retina display. It is a beautiful display. Your photos will look amazing on it. Huge, incredibly detailed, rich colors. Your documents will be full size with laser-sharp text. And I'll say it again, watching movies on it is incredible. It's an amazing experience. This is the most advanced display we have ever built. It took some incredible innovation in technology. For example, we used the technology that we created in the iMac with Retina 5K display and its timing controller to drive all those pixels quickly. We made it look beautiful with our photo alignment technique, which means it has great on-axis contrast ratio. It's made of the best oxide TFT material, which means we can light up the pixels quickly and have uniform color and brightness. And for the first time in an Apple display, it has a variable refresh rate. That means that if things aren't moving quickly on the display, we can slow it down and save energy. This is an amazing display. And inside it, something even more amazing, the chip that powers it. This is the new A9X chip. It's our third generation 64-bit chip. We've doubled bandwidth to memory. We've doubled the read and write performance to flash storage. It is so fast. How fast is it? The new A9X is 1.8 times faster than the A8X it replaces. This is desktop class performance. If you compare what our team has done, our chip team is just on fire. Over the last 5 years, they've grown performance in the iPad 22-fold for CPU tasks. and graphics tasks are even faster. We've doubled the performance of graphics over the A8X. And over the last 5 years, this is unbelievable. Graphics performance has gone up 360 times. The biggest jump in this year alone. You combine that fast hardware with great software, like in iOS 9, our Metal libraries for writing games and applications directly to that graphics chips, and you get incredible performance. But here's another way to think about how fast iPad Pro is. It is faster than 80% of the portable PCs that shipped in the last 12 months. Yes. That's at CPU tasks. At graphics tasks, it's faster than 90% of them. So when you run tasks and applications that we all love to use, they get incredibly fast. For example, iMovie. Running iMovie on an iPad Pro delivers desktop-class performance. With iMovie, you can now edit 3 streams of 4K video simultaneous. That's incredible performance. And it's going to enable new classes of applications for iPad. For example, check this out. This is AutoCAD 360 from Autodesk. It's an incredibly powerful application. This image has 320,000 objects in its wireframe mesh. And you can zoom in and pan around it with buttery 60 frame per second smoothness, something you can't do on a PC. And all that power comes with all-day battery life, 10 hours of battery life. So we've got an amazing display, incredible performance, great battery life. So we thought this display deserves a great sound system. And so for the first time ever in an Apple product, we now have a 4-speaker audio system. And it automatically balances the left and the right depending on how you're holding the iPad. And it balances the frequencies between the top and the bottom dynamically to create a beautiful stereo sound stage. And it puts out 3 times the audio volume of an iPad Air 2. You really have to listen to it. It's amazing. And that's packed into a device that's incredibly thin and light. Here's the iPad Pro. Let's bring in the iPad Air underneath it. And you can see they're both amazingly thin. The iPad Pro is just 6.9 millimeters thin. The iPad Air, 6.1. Very, very close. What about the weight of it? Well, here, let's bring in the original first iPad. It's kind of fun. They're both just around 1.5 pounds, which is unbelievable because the iPad Pro has a 78% larger screen area. It has 360 times more graphics power. It is thin and light enough to hold all day and powerful enough to take everywhere, whether you want to watch movies in the park or edit a film on location. This is an amazing iPad. But the story doesn't stop there. Let's go back to that software keyboard. It's a great keyboard. It dynamically changes as we use different applications. And it's how most of us will type on our iPad Pro. But because we're enabling applications not possible before in an iPad, sometimes you like the convenience of a physical keyboard. So we're very excited to tell you about a brand new accessory just for iPad Pro, and it's called the Smart Keyboard. This is unlike any keyboard you've ever used before. It's covered in an Apple woven fabric. That fabric creates the cover, but also forms the structure and the feel of those keys. And they feel really great to type on. Inside is a new Apple dome switch that we pioneered with the MacBook. And it works beautifully in this great new smart keyboard. So how do you attach or connect this smart keyboard to your iPad Pro? Well, if you look closely, there are 3 new circles along the side of the iPad Pro. This is a brand new connector technology. We call it the Smart Connector. It carries power and data and connects magnetically to the smart keyboard. So when you want to attach your iPad to the keyboard, you just slide it on it. And the software in iOS 9 automatically adapts and changes because it knows you want to use the physical keyboard versus the soft keyboard. So that's the new smart keyboard designed specifically for the iPad Pro.